Welcome back to part 3 on how to create HTML and also creating a cheat sheet. Congrats, you've made it this far, keep going, you're amazing. Alright, what we're going to look at now is we're going to look at lists. So if you can write that in as a comment, lists come in unordered lists and they also come in ordered lists. In a moment we're going to have a look at what that means. So what you're going to do is you're going to begin with the tag UL, which reminds me I forgot to add in my backend tag. So I'm going to delete that. I'm going to do that real quickly and then I'm going to go enter. All right. So then once you've got your unordered list tag, what we're going to do is we're going to tell HTML that we are using our first list item, so LI for that. All right, and then at the top of our list, let's make it really easy. My keyboard is doing weird things, but that is okay. All right, and then we've got unordered list at the top and followed by our end list bracket. Then what we're going to do is we are going to type in another list item, and then this time let's call this list item 1, and then again our backend list. Then we're going to copy that because Miss Dawson is slow at typing. And we're going to make sure that we have spaces in between. I'm going for 6 list items in total. I'm going to number all of them so that I can see the difference, not 15. All right, so 6 items in total, and then remembering that all of them have a back end bracket and all of them have a front end bracket, and then we've got the UL for unordered list top and bottom. If we go Control S and we go refresh, then you will see that we have a unordered list or a dot points. Okay, so this time we are going to create a ordered list, so that is an OL tag instead. Okay, remember that we want to add in our backend tag so that it's there ready to go for us, and then we are going to type in our list item. So same process, it's just a different front and backend tag for the list. Okay, so LI for list item, and then let's write in this time, and then we're going to finish it with a backend tag, but again, don't forget that slash. All right, and then I've already done list items, so let's copy and paste 5 of them, and then let's just change the numbers again. All right, so there is our list again. If we save and then refresh, we have an ordered list this time with number points. All right, so that is the end of our list. Let us move on and let us look at creating a table. All right, so again, I'm going to put a BR right there, so then it creates a break. I'm pressing tab, and then I am going to type in the comment for table. All right. Next step, let's look at creating some table tags. So what we're going to start off with is quite simply the front and back end tag that says table, that is instructing HTML that you want to create a table. Pretty simple, yeah? Remember, let's create front and back end. Okay, so in tables, we have generally two parts, two elements, similar to when we created our coding up the top here, all right? So tables consist of a heading as well, all right? And then they also consist of a body. Now remember, the heading in the just general documents case is this up here, the bookmark or the tab name, and then the body is this section that is here that we have been typing so far, all right? When it comes to table headings and bodies, pretty much it just means that the heading is at the very top, and it's in bold, and then the rest of the table is just normal, okay? So what we're going to start off with is table or T head, all right? And that is going to be our tag for the heading. Again, front and back, all right? You'll see with this one how it is so important to have like different spacing and different tabs to make it easy to read, okay? All right, we need one more tag, which is to indicate that all of the heading is going to be in bold and it is going to be an actual heading. So that one there is TR, and don't forget to have both ends of that tag. And then we can start putting in our different sections of the table. So my rows, I'm thinking, and this one is TH for making it the table header, is going to be name. So I'm going to have the row name. I am going to have the row email. So table header, email. And then I'm going to have the table header H. You can have whatever written text you want that is in white that is going to be appearing here. You don't have to have name, email, and age. However, what is really important is that you follow this line of code that is here because it is more complex than others that we have done so far. All right, so the next piece of information that we need to add in is the table body. So that is T body. Then once we've got our front and back end tags, we are going to start creating a new table, all right, or set off each row in the table, so TR. So just like so. Then so in the first row, I am going to have TD, which sets us off each cell in the row. So TD, not B, D. Then we're going to include the information that's going to fall under each one of these headings. So name. You can write in my name or you can write in someone else's. Then we want email. So my email, if anyone ever needs to contact me, you would have already found this, but my email is that one there. What did I forget, everyone? I forgot a back end tag. All right. Next, here's my age. Not sure whether I want to tell you that. So TD, then we're going to do unknown. Maybe you can take a guess. All right. So that is the first, I guess, I was calling these ones rows beforehand. These produce columns. These produce our rows across this way. So columns go down, rows go sideways, all right? So this has produced our first row. Let's create another row. Maybe this time you can include your own details. So we don't want to start off with TD, sorry. We want to start off with TR because we want to create our own new row. Then TD for each cell within the row. Email. Probably should have an at and an email, shouldn't we? All right, so I paused the video just while I added in an extra few. It's probably good to make sure that you've got at least 4 different rows in your table. Then if you go Control S and refresh, hopefully, there we go, we have a table. Now, I shouldn't be able to see that. That is because I didn't include an exclamation point. You can see that if you're someone that makes errors really easily, I've gone Control S and refreshed, then it's really important that you're able to go back through your code and find those errors like this exclamation mark and to work out why something might not be happening or might be happening. And a really easy one that I find that I forget and leave out all the time is the back end of the tag, or I will put it in with no slash. So make sure that you're following really carefully along with all of those things so that then your tag is looking the same as mine. That is why we're doing it though, so that then we can learn how to find our mistakes. All right, we have 2 more things that we need to be looking at. The next one, we are going to look at how to write links. Okay, so by this, what we mean is like hyperlinks to other websites that we can then have someone click on and it takes them to another page, another website. Okay, so to include a link, you simply need a tag, which is A. A means link. All right, and then we also need href or href, all right, and then we want an equal sign, and then you include your URL. So by that, what we mean is the link that, like the website link that you're going to send it to. So for example, if I come over here and I type in google.com, that is going to take me to simply Google, okay? So if I type that in, now make sure that you've got https ... backslashes, all right, www.google.com. All right, you want all of that information. Again, let's just copy and paste it over here and make sure that that works. There we go. All right. Then after our tag and after our attribute, so this A here is the tag, and then this here is what we're going to call an attribute, which is the information after it that tells it that we want to include a website tag. Then what we are going to do is write in the wording that we are going to click on. So I might say, for more information, click on this link. And then I am going to finish it off with the backend tag, which is just an A, so we don't need the href, all right? Then if we go Control S, that is simply the end of it. And then we go back to our cheat sheet. Then we have our link. For some reason though, this has appeared on top of my table instead of on the bottom of. Now you can see that it's opening up Google, so it's doing what I have requested. All right, so I paused the video and I had a bit of a look at my code, and I realized I forgot a step. Now, what I'm wondering is, did you realize? What I did to problem solve my code was I went back and I looked through at all of these tags, and I thought to myself, there is not a backend tag here somewhere. Now, the tag that is missing is the backend of the table. So I haven't actually closed off my table according to this code here. If I go Control S now and I refresh, my tag, or sorry, my hyperlink is at the bottom, which is exactly where I want it. Now, confusing, I know, but most of the time, even though I just said all of the time you need to have front and back end tags, there are a few exceptions where you do not need a front and back end tag, and we have been using one of those examples, one of those tags all along. That is our break tag, all right? So all of the time that you have information in between something, you need to have that front and back end tag to indicate that the thing that you are trying to do is finished. You don't want to do that anymore. So just like we did at the top here with our bold text and including strong front and back of the writing. In the instance, the very few instances like a break tag where all we want is to have a larger gap in between our text. So for example, I added in 2 here just so that then we could have a larger gap. You do not need to have a backend tag. That is because we do not have any information that is written in between. That is called a self-closing tag, these ones here, all right? Okay, we have our link. I'm going to include some more self-closing tags. So the break tags under here, I'm going to do 2 only because I want a larger gap in between this and our final thing that we're going to include on our cheat sheet for today. So this final thing that we're going to include is images. All right, so to include an image, we want to include a very similar link tag, same as above, but we are going to link it to an image that exists in our computer. Specifically, we want that image to be in the same folder that you have created this document in, all right? So to do that, we need to find an image. I'm just gonna, you can find whatever PG appropriate image you would like to include. I am going to include this lovely photo. Once you've got your image, what we're going to do is go save image as, and we are going to save it into the exact same folder that you've previously used to save this HTML document. Make sure that you save the name as something you will remember. So sample GIF in my case. Remember if it says JPEG or JPG after your file, so then that's a file type. And then if you go save, then we can start writing in our tag. So our tag is img. Now an image tag, because we're not physically writing any text, it is another one of those self-enclosing tags, so just like the breakpoint. All right, so you only need one side of that. A bonus with using this Sublime tool, if you actually try to type in the tag, it is now typing in body rather than image, because it's pretty much telling you that you don't need a backend tag for the image. Once you've got img, we need to include the link to that image. Otherwise, if you just write img in, it's not actually going to know what image you want to have on your web page. All right, so what we are going to do is include a bit of a link. So our source, CRS, equals, so source, by the way, all of these purple things here, they are called attributes, whereas the red is a tag. So our source is quotation marks, and the name of the image was sample. All right. And it was a J, I'm just going to check because we don't want to get this wrong. It was a GIF file, JFIF. All right. All right. So once we've got that, if we save and get rid of that real quick, and we refresh, we should have your image there. All right. Now you are able to create a name for your image, so that then when you hover over your image, like a pop-up kind of appears. For you to do that, all you need to do is include the attribute alt, and then if you include in quotation marks the name. All right, so I'm going to say my sample image. All right. Then what should happen once we save and hit refresh is if we hover over, what's meant to happen is you're meant to be able to see that, which I cannot. All right. Interesting. The other thing that you are meant to be able to do is you're meant to be able to choose how many megapixels you want the image to be wide. So some of your images, depending on the size of it, might have expanded out massive, and then others might have been smaller. So hypothetically, I know what it was. Beforehand, I didn't have the backwards tag, so it hadn't closed off this tag here. So now that I've got that, what should happen is if I refresh, see how it's made my image bigger, and I'm hovering and I'm still seeing nothing. All right, good to know. Okay, we're going to end our video for today on that really disappointing note, but it's okay. We have an image, we have a table, we have some ordered and unordered lists, we have some text stylization, paragraphs and headings. Not bad for a day's worth of work. What I want you to make sure is once you have tried all of these things, remember, do not copy and paste in your code. You want to make sure that you are typing that yourself, and you are learning and you are practicing. And if you're making mistakes, you're finding your mistakes, or you are coming on to our Teams meeting or sending me a DayMat message to ask me to help you to problem solve. All right. Make sure that you're doing all of those things so that then you can learn. Are you going to be tested on this knowledge in future? Absolutely, you will be. The other thing that you need to be aware of, though, is please make sure that you have saved both this, all right? Really, you have to, though, all right? And you can exit out of this one once you're done, but we are going to come back to this document and we are going to keep adding to it. So please make sure that you do not delete this document at all. Thank you for getting this far, guys. I will speak to you in person, hopefully, next time. See you later.